Hi everybody, my name is Eileen and I am abstinent on the GreySheet, and I am so grateful this Thanksgiving to be able to say that again. Today I wanted to talk about some of the things that make eating holiday dinners or dinners with family difficult, and barriers that I had to overcome over the years in order to be abstinent and stay abstinent. One of them was my relatives, like my sister, making some special dessert just for me. And it might be something that I always loved to eat and she made for me, and it was a gift of love. And I would have to say, I'm sorry, I don't eat that stuff anymore. Thank you for making it for me. I'm sure other people will enjoy it very much, but it's not for me anymore. Another thing was the timing of a meal. For instance, I often wake up early, like 6 o'clock in the morning, and I like to eat my breakfast when I wake up. Well, that's fine for me because I'll eat my lunch at noon, and then I'll have my dinner usually at 6. But it's common for a holiday dinner to just stretch on and on and on in the making of it. So I would go to somebody's house for dinner and they'd say, "Oh, come at 1," but they wouldn't eat until 2 or maybe 3 because they're snacking on all these things that we don't eat. And so I'm starving by then. So what I have done in the past is I ask people what time their dinner is going to be served, and they give me their best estimate. Again, they don't know for sure. I try to make sure that on those special occasions, I eat a later breakfast. So if I know that I'm not going to eat my meal with everybody until 2 o'clock, then I try to have my breakfast at 9 instead of 6. Or if they're going to have a dinner they say come over at 6, but I know that the meal isn't going to happen until between 7 and 8, then I'll push my lunch meal a little bit later on so that I'm not starving. And I have to say, there have been times when I bring my weighed and measured food that I know that will serve me to eat. If I can't wait that long, then I will go somewhere and eat in another room and, you know, abstain from the meal that everybody else is having and just have tea or coffee. And if people have questions about that, I'll just say, I'm very, very strict about the timing of my meals. And the truth is, I'm here for the company, not for the food. So I'm just happy to be here, and thank you. And I may take some leftovers home and enjoy it later when I can eat it at the right time for me. There are a lot of people who have food requirements right now. We're not the only ones. And if people don't understand, we can always say, "I'm sorry, this hurts your feelings," or "I'm sorry, I just need to do this to take care of myself." And most people understand that. If people don't understand that, a lot of times it's because they have food issues or because they've never learned how to separate food from love. But that's not my problem. My problem is staying abstinent, and I do it the best way I can. I do it with all the grace I can muster in a given day, and sometimes I'm not very graceful. But when I go home, I'm never sorry that I stayed abstinent instead of pleasing somebody else or sparing them their feelings, because I don't go home and sleep with them. I sleep with me. Oh, and the other thing I want to say is, before a big event like this, or eating in front of people that I don't normally eat with, or eating with people I used to eat with that I don't eat with any longer, I make sure I get to meetings. I make sure I talk it over with my sponsor. I make sure that I have what I need to stay abstinent completely, all by myself, on my own, without anything that they're going to offer. I can always eat that food later at a different time or throw it away if I don't need it, but I'm never sorry that I bring my full backup with me. Thanks, everybody. I hope you have wonderful holidays.
This is Grania, abstinent and grateful today because I weigh and measure 3 meals a day from the Cambridge GreySheet. I turn them over to my qualified GreySheet sponsor with 90 days or more of back-to-back GreySheet abstinence. I don't eat no matter what, and I do eat my committed meals no matter what. Abstinence is the most important thing in my life. And I've been abstinent without exception since September 14th, 1994. Um, in terms of winter holidays and gray sheet abstinence, I really do not have a lot to share with people who do traditional winter holidays because I just don't. I live alone. I have no children. I have no immediate family. I'm not Christian. I'm not Jewish. I'm not celebrating traditional African holidays. So I don't like to eat out in restaurants. I don't like to eat with big social events. I don't like to host a bunch of people. So for me, the winter holidays are purely a chance for time off from work, which means I can spend time doing what I enjoy doing and having the biggest and the best gray sheet meals, but it doesn't change anything about my meals. I eat the same foods on December 25th as I eat on December 24th and December 27th. And so it just doesn't stress. I don't register those holidays. They're not my holidays. And those are my choices. So I could choose to eat out. I could choose to visit family. I could choose to attend the many Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa parties, New Year's Eve parties that I'm invited to. But I don't enjoy them, so I don't. And that is how I have stayed abstinent for 21 years back to back and 22 years in Gray Sheet. And I do, so the most important thing, no matter what time of year, is that I choose to be abstinent today. And it is the most important thing today. And I don't know what I want to do next Monday or 2 Sundays from now. All I know is what I want to do today. And I do remember when I first moved to Houston and started the Gray Sheet meeting here, we were meeting in the Overeaters Anonymous meeting house, clubhouse, and these two women came to the meeting. It was just me and one other person who was interested in Gray Sheet at that time. And these two women came. It was October, and when they said they were interested in getting started, and so I explained the Gray Sheet to them, and they repeatedly asked, well, what about Thanksgiving? What about Christmas? What about Thanksgiving? What about Christmas? Throughout my hour-long explanation to them of how to be abstinent, they repetitively and obsessively and compulsively kept coming back to Christmas and Thanksgiving. And I kept telling them, it's only October. Just weigh and measure for today. And they could not let go of what they would possibly do on Thanksgiving. And so they didn't weigh and measure that day in October, and I've never seen them since. And that was in 1997. So I keep those two women in my memory as reminders to me that all I need to do is weigh and measure today. And who knows what's going to happen on Thanksgiving and Christmas. I'm grateful to be abstinent today, no matter what. Bye-bye.
Hi, my name is Kathy, and I am a completely hopeless compulsive eater. I have absolutely no hope of ever conquering this food addiction on my own, but thank goodness I found the Gray Sheet food plan and the Gray Sheet community, and I'm completely bought into this thing, which means that I choose 3 meals a day from the Gray Sheet. I write them down, I commit them to a sponsor, and I eat them with incredible pleasure. And Thanksgiving is coming. I was remembering my first Thanksgiving ever in recovery, which was quite a long time ago in recovery in another program. And I just could not bear to be around my family. I couldn't do it. I was so raw, and I went over. This gentleman from another program was having a lot of people over for Thanksgiving, and I went over there. I felt very safe. In my family of origin, there was a lot of drinking, a lot of harshness, and I just couldn't do it. I just couldn't do it. But I am more recovered, and I can handle a lot more than I used to. I don't try to be around people that are harsh or under the influence, but I'm a lot more easygoing, as a result of working the 12 steps. So I've had a lot of different experiences over the years of Thanksgiving. I always try and do something. I don't have any children of my own. I do have a husband, and he has children, so he's often flying off to be with them. This year he's going to be here, and we're going to cook a traditional Thanksgiving meal, and I'm not going to eat the normal Thanksgiving fare because I don't eat animals. I'm vegetarian, so I'm not going to eat that part of it. And the vegetables that I'm cooking will not be covered in different sauces and things because I need to be able to measure them. So any meal, any Thanksgiving meal that I'm a member, a part of, is going to be different for me because I don't eat the normal Thanksgiving protein. So, I've just came to feel comfortable being different. So for me, it's not a big deal. And I do remember back when I got back into GreySheet program, I would cook this whole meal, and then my husband would go, what are you going to have? Because I would just focus so much on everyone else. So what I've really learned to do is make sure that my meal comes first and make sure that I'm going to have something that's spectacular. And what's funny is it's actually going to be pretty much what I always eat. Not that I always eat the same thing, but part of the success in doing the GreySheet food plan is to make our meals spectacular. Every meal, 3 times a day, we call it number 10 meals. Like what's the best from 1 to 10? It's number 10. So I'm going to have a wonderful meal for Thanksgiving, but then the next meal I have, which will be breakfast the next day, will also be fantastic. I don't need a holiday to eat an amazing meal. That's how it works for me. That's why I'm able to eat 3 meals a day and nothing in between. It's because each meal is so nutritious, so gorgeous, so satisfying. And I'm doing a conversation right now with another GreySheet member with her family, may be coming here for Thanksgiving. There's nothing better than eating meals with my fellow GreySheeters. And actually, I was at her house for Christmas last year, and it was so wonderful, so warm, so harmonious. So I'm truly living the dream. There is not one food in this entire universe that I want more than I want my abstinence. I want this peace. I have unbelievable freedom from food obsession. I have no cravings whatsoever. I am maintaining 120-pound weight loss. I am not thinking of foods we cannot eat. It's just unbelievable that I should have this food addiction that is hurting so many people, and I have this blessed life of freedom. So Thanksgiving, bring it on. I'm ultra committed to my recovery, and I'll have a wonderful day, and I hope you do also, no matter what. Thanks for listening.